I'm sharing with you something that's been an announcement in the makings for some time, and we have an amazing leader in the state of Florida. $75 million closed just a year ago. About $84 million is the track this year closed with a little mini like team. Mini, who is now getting ready to explode, has chosen to do it alongside us with the Fast Forward movement at EXP, and I'm just thrilled about it. You're going to find so much to contribute to the group, and Suzanne, I just want to give you a really quick welcome. You and your husband Chad, who's in the background there, he pulls all the strings, makes it all happen, and you know. So anyway, I just want to give you a warm welcome, but I want to have a real discussion today that is not just some rah-rah discussion, but just that genuinely will give people value. And I'm excited for all the value you're going to be providing to the group, but warm welcome first, and let's jump into it.
Thank you, Dan. We're very excited to be here.
Good. Well, so, I mean, I think the first question is, like, a lot of people always want to know why the change. You were at Keller Williams, great organization. I came from there as well. We both learned so much. And then you're very successful. From my point of view, the first question is like, you don't have to make any change. Like, why make a change at all? And then once you are, there's different systems, like the cloud-based thing. You know, there's of course us at EXP, and then there's the ones that are, you know, trying to duplicate it. So at the end of the day, I think, you know, why make the change at all, and why here? And anything else you want to add, by the way, this floor is completely yours, and I just want to provide value to people.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started, I started 7 years ago at Keller Williams, and we had a great team there, and colleagues and friendships and all these things, and obviously got to where we are under that umbrella. We got to a point that we felt like we weren't really going to be able to grow to the next level, staying under that umbrella. And we did a lot of research for many brokerages. We talked to hundreds of people, and we really didn't find anything that we really aligned with in terms of, you know, our values, our growth, where we wanted to go. And so we found, you know, Dan Beer, Kyle Whissel, Fast Forward movement, and all the people that are just doing things on such a high level there, you know, $600 million plus a year producers, you know, larger teams. You know, we've done all this with a team of myself and my husband and one real assistant, meaning physical, and one virtual assistant. And obviously we need to get to the systems to the next level so that we can grow to where we want to be going forward. And that's basically, we didn't think there was a better place to do it than here. So it was EXP for the virtual model. We also like that. And we also like that, you know, you have the online systems and, you know, things. It was set up for the, you know, for when COVID happened. But the main reason really is about our upline and who we're aligning ourselves with, because our reputation is what matters more than anything to us. And basically Fast Forward movement was it for us. So
a question for you. It's all right. So you said you saw some value in like the cloud-based thing. You can spread across the state of Florida and do it all freely and all that, which is great. There are, you know, I think there's some people that say, oh, well, that one would be $3,000 less, or that one would be $4,000 more. Or there's all these little iterations on this EXP model, which is growing. It's interesting how a disproportionate amount of top producers like yourself are attracted to our environment. I mean, this is just facts. If you look at who's here, who's elsewhere. And I want to know why. At the end, I have my suspicions, of course, but I don't want to put my words into your answer. So I think there's a lot of people having that conversation. Some of them get hung up on the like, oh, but they have like, you know, in John Cheplack's words, like they give 3 postcards on a crescent moon, and they have this feature and they have that feature, and they're 4,000 less. What are you caught up on?
I think looking at it that way is really missing the forest for the trees, because you're not, that's small potatoes in the big scheme of things. Like, you know, the value you can get from the group like Fast Forward movement is the people and the collaboration, and opening the playbook and seeing behind the curtain. I mean, that's invaluable, really. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get coached for things like that. So having a group of like-minded people who want to contribute and collaborate and, have the same kind of integrity and values, it's invaluable to be a part of that. So to me, 4,000 here, 2,000 there, I don't even look at that at all. I'm looking at the big picture always.
So what I want you guys to capture, like if you're watching this and you're like, okay, well, that's easy for her to say. She did 75 million. She's tracking to 84 million this year. By the way, you see that kind of like that growth, right? We need to get back to hockey stick growth, which is part of the purpose of this alignment and this partnership. But if you're thinking, well, that's easy for her to say because she has that kind of income. Well, you care about that more than you think, even if you're a brand new agent. Because how are you going to grow? Well, it's about the people that are going to be around you. So the fact that people like Suzanne are here, and that Kyle and people like Jeremy Larson and people like Candace Decker and people like Damon Penn and people like Brett Sikora and Tina Call and blah, on and on and on. If you're a brand new agent, you care about all of this. You care about all these same things that she cares about because you put yourself into an environment where the growth side is there. And what I mean is just try to articulate that a little bit better. The upside of saving $4,000 is $4,000. The upside of being surrounded by people that have the mindset, the skill set, the history, right, that have made all of the mistakes and that are incentivized in giving you what works is literally millions of dollars. And I mean that literally. We've experienced that. We're living that. So I think that's really cool. So part of what we do, Suzanne, is we all make the group better. Like at the end of the day, like sure, there could be models, but models are worthless if they don't have the right people on them. You could have a model that looks this way, looks shinier, looks fun. But at the end of the day, it's what human beings are there to power it that you're going to plug in with, which is why we're all growing our core business, right? Our sales business. In my case, I joined at 162 million. Now we're at 612 this past year.
Amazing.
So what is the thing that you're going to bring to the group with your CPA background, with the way you work? You're a complete expert in short-term rentals. What do you bring into the group that we can expect to learn from you in short order?
Absolutely. So we are based in Orlando, Florida, and we're near Disney. We do a lot of relocations, and we also do deal with a lot of investors in short-term rentals, long-term rentals, second homes, even all kinds of stuff across the board. So it definitely help with our expertise in that model. It is very, very, very niche. Orlando in this specific area has a lot of those short-term rentals just surrounding Disney because 100 million people visit Orlando every year. So it's a great corridor, and the government doesn't fight it here. So it's actually welcomed. So that, and also I want to contribute to the group with my CPA background, obviously being a tax expert. I used to have my own tax practice. I can help teach agents about what they can do to, help their clients with different, tax planning, tax strategies, and also themselves as well. For their own tax, benefits and stuff that might be in the pipeline. And then just maybe opening our playbook, I guess, the things that we do that maybe others don't, the same way that the others in the group do. And just sharing that, because we've really mastered farming. The fact that we've done 75 million, with 2 people still blows my mind, and that's been a lot of specific farming and collaborating and giving back to the community and just really helping neighbors and community in the areas we farm. And it's really just grown and blossomed. So we feel very blessed and grateful. But all those things we are happy to share with the group.
Awesome. Excited about that, 100%. What do you see happening right now with the marketplace? What's your advice for agents that are finding themselves with a little bit of fear, a little anxiety, and the changes that they've got to go through? I mean, you've been in the business world for a long time. You've lived through cycles. And what's your advice right now, or how are you handling your own business through the changes? And how big are the changes you're seeing?
I'll answer all those questions. So, I mean, obviously a little bit of fear and anxiety is normal. We all have it. but I think what circumvents that is educating yourself, making sure you're up on your stats, like, paying attention to days on market, what properties are listed for and closing for, looking back only, in the last couple of weeks, even sometimes 30 days, and just really getting out there and talking to people and being that education source for our clients, and taking the fear off them. Because if you are fearful and having anxiety, you're going to project that to your clients. Your clients are already having very high levels of fear. So your job really is to calm them and educate them and realize that they can maybe get a better deal in this market. You can still find ways to negotiate deals to buy down interest rates, or you can get credits back, and you can get maybe a lower sales price now than you could at 6 months ago. So there's always a good market. It's always a good market to buy. It's really about strategy, knowledge, education. And so we focus on that when we focus on really listening to our clients and what their needs are. So you have to really listen, because different people want different things. They're looking for different things. So combination of listening, educating, and maybe a little bit of therapy.
I love that you say that, because I'm literally closing on an investment purchase tomorrow. So it's a property over in the college area, SDSU, San Diego State. And I'm closing on it tomorrow. So it always is a good time to buy, depending on what your business plan is. Like, would it be the right time to buy that property if I was flipping it and trying to create a short-term profit? No, but I'm looking at the tax side. I'm looking at long-term. Is that real estate that I want to earn, that I want to own? Am I overly impressed with my cash flow in the short term? Not really. Don't love my cash flow in the short term. I have cash flow. I will have here as soon as we close. But I also recognize that I'm only dating the rate, right? I'm marrying the property, I'm dating the rate. And as soon as I can find a refi window, I'm suddenly going to love my cash flow. I'm going to have had the tax benefits, and I'm going to be a long-term owner of real estate that I want to own. That's exactly the type of real estate that I want to own right now. And I was able to get it at a price that I wouldn't have been able to just a short time ago.
Exactly. People don't understand that right now there's properties that people would be fighting for 6 months ago, lining up for, that are sitting on the market. You have an opportunity to get something you might not have been able to get about 6 months ago now, if you negotiate it properly.
100%. 100%. So it'll be interesting, by the way, because one of the things we love about it all is the depreciation benefits. So we'll see how that starts to change, if at all, as what the previous administration put in place, and as that starts to phase out as the way it's currently scheduled. But what happens here moving forward if they extend those things? But
they're likely to extend it. I don't want to say too much, but my prediction would be, based on my experience, they're going to extend it. So we'll see.
I'd hope so. I mean, because it's a true motivator. Like, I can tell you that there's transactions that genuinely I myself, and look, what am I? I'm like tiny, small potatoes is probably calling me too big, right? In the grand scheme of the real estate investment world. I'm certain.
I wouldn't say that, but you could say
that. Yeah, well, I think that's the truth, and that's factual, right? I mean, certainly no BlackRock, right? But even me, I've engaged in transactions where the tax side was definitely a part of the analysis, and let alone larger investors, let alone hedge fund. I mean, it is a true determinant of how much is happening, and sometimes we get lost in the short-term vision, just like a lot of agents are right now. But that's what we do. So one of the, helping them look at the big picture. One of the things I'm excited about, which is taking place today at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, pretty much as soon as we're done here, we're going to be live in our group. We do a Monday mastermind. I know that was a big deal to you. Is every Monday you have some of the biggest agents in the world. We have $600 million producers, and 400s and 300 and 200s and 100s. I mean, we literally have over $250 million plus producers that come together, along with brand new agents, by the way. So why do I mention those top producers? Well, because they're the coaches. They're the wisdom that's brought forward every single Monday. And you are looking forward to plugging into this Monday mastermind, where we help agents figure out how to help buyers work through this market, how to talk about interest rates, how to talk about the inflation issues, how to list houses, how to get them at the right price, how to get the reductions, how to move them. And that starts in about 5 minutes, which I'm excited about.
Yes. No, I mean, that's amazing. And I just want to say that that's definitely like, that was one of the things when I first was asked to, join that, and just check it out. That was one of the things that most impressed me, is that like this group has so many heavy hitters and so many people doing things on a high level, and also beginners, but helping people who are in the middle of their business, but just everybody is here. And I didn't see another location after all the places we looked at that had that type of group with that type of dynamic, with that many people doing things on a high level. So that was invaluable, and definitely one of the main reasons we jumped over. It was great.
I think that ties to like a good thought to maybe move us into our ending here, as we welcome you to the group. And look, today's not meant to solve all issues. It's just meant to give you a warm welcome, let people know who you are, how you think, and what they can expect to learn from you if you're part of the group. But the thing that people have to be really weary of is the guru thing. Oh, I joined that because there was this one person who I really loved and is amazing. Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. That person is amazing. That person, just like most of us, certainly like me, however, doesn't know everything, isn't the best at everything, isn't the most experienced at everything. I'm certainly not. I'll let other people speak their truth, but I have to operate with it with integrity and within the truth of the fact that there's going to be areas of the business that I'm going to be able to, Suzanne, if you ever call me and need my help, and, by the way, I'm not even her sponsor. She's just part of the group. Okay. This is the way that this thing operates. But you call me, you text me, you need my help, you jump on the Monday Mastermind or whatever it might be, I'm there for you. Having said that, there's going to be areas where you absolutely want me. There's going to be areas where I'm just not the guy. I don't know that. I'm not an expired listing expert. I've never taken a FSBO myself, ever. Okay. And so the point being is, you want to be in an ecosystem where you're not just chasing that guru who's going to hopefully know everything and anything at the highest possible level, but where within the group, in our case, over $250 million plus producers in our group, I go to that person for that person for that person for that. When it's this topic, I go to like these 10 people because they're all amazing. I hear their input, I take it in, I make sure I get their failures. I make sure that I understand what went wrong for them in the past, what went right. And then I take action. And by the way, I still might take a misstep or two, because there's no such thing as a perfect silver bullet, but I will certainly make less mistakes and I'll grow faster. If I'm a good listener, a good implementer, if I don't try to tweak what's proven to work, I am going to move faster with a collection of experts versus the one guru. And that's what our environment is. And that's why I just freaking value it so much.
Well, we are really excited to be on board. I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm looking forward to being part of the group. And I couldn't be more excited and thrilled. So thank you, Dan, for everything. And happy to be on board.
Thank you for everything. It's interesting too, because we did our big, just a quick closing thought just comes to mind, and you were there. We did our big Fast Forward Movement event on day one of EXP Con, and before the official start. It was before the official welcome reception. But anyway, we did the event. A lot of people thank you. This is great. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. But what I think is the most important is, just like I said to them, thank you. If you don't show up, there's no group. If Suzanne doesn't show up and contribute to the group, then what do we have? If everybody in its entirety doesn't do their part, so it's your group. It's not mine. That's for darn sure. It's yours, Suzanne. It's Chad's. It is Candace's. It is Damon's. And you saw who went across stage that day. What's amazing about the group is we could have had a completely different set of speakers, and it would have been an equally great day. And we could have a different set of speakers from that, and it could have been an equally great or better day. And it's because of who shows up in it. So I appreciate, I'll preemptively say thank you for showing up, because I'll hold you to that. And we look forward to your contributions. So big hugs.
Yep. Same to you. Happy Halloween.
Yes. Awesome. You enjoy that.
Thanks, Dan.